Well, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Let's play the song. Now, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. This is the monthly chart of Palantir. One of my favorite stock. I'm not married to it. It's just my biggest position. It's my biggest individual stock position on my portfolio. And so far, I'm loving the way that it's looking. I'm definitely at a pretty decent unrealized gain right now. I promised myself not to buy anymore once price breaks about $21. I broke my rule. I bought a little bit more at the bottom of this candle over here around 22, 23. That's okay. What you're seeing here on a monthly chart, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. It's probably going to form a higher low. How low does it get? I don't know. Some people say the low is going to get as low as 19 or 20 because technically it could be back testing this level before bullish continuation. I'm just not sure whether or not it's going to happen. It didn't happen over here. Had a big breakout from one volume shelf up to the next. Didn't end up back testing it, did it? We just also had another same thing happen from breakout from one volume shelf up to the next. I'm not sure it's going to have to go back down to the lower volume shelf to bounce up. Probably going to end up consolidating at this part right up here. The bulk of it is going to be between like $27 and maybe like $22 or $23. If you look at the overall volume share, you're talking about like the top volume share, maybe even up to like 30. The bottom volume share, you're maybe talking about like 21 and a half, something like that. But I think most likely price is going to end up kind of bouncing around here for a while before bullish continuation. And right now we have a candle that kind of looks like a candle over here. I suspect that after March, there might be a candle that's going to push back above and it's probably going to end up potentially going sideways here for maybe a couple months, maybe even for longer. I'll show you why I think that it makes sense to have consolidation. I'll also show you why it doesn't have to, because price doesn't have to do what I tell it to do. I'm here to just predict trend. It consolidated over here for about 8 or 9 months. It doesn't have to do that around here again. But that's one argument. But the other argument is that price has spent a significant amount of time over here in 2021. So there's a lot of price history here, a lot of price memory here. A lot of people who bought here have been waiting for price to get up here trying to sell. So they might end up having a lot of supply over here too. That might take some time to kind of eat it out before bullish continuation. I do think that once price breaks about $30, sky's the limit, and it can go up pretty parabolically when it happens. I just want to draw a quick Fibonacci level. The top of the price is $45. I'm not going to draw an exact Fibonacci level here. Let me track that down a little bit. Down. That's good enough for me. Low is around $6. It's got rejected here at the 0.5 Fibonacci level, which is right around this top peak of this volume shelf right around here. I think that most likely is going to end up bouncing above it after the end of March when April comes. I think over the next few months it's going to be bouncing above it. And the top of this volume shelf right around here is, as I said, was 30, right? So it's kind of close to the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. There's a good possibility it might bounce between 0.5 and 0.618. Kind of consolidate up here. Eat up a lot of the supply from 2021 before its bullish continuation. It doesn't have to do that, obviously. But 0.618 generally is the golden ratio of the Fibonacci sequence. It's generally a stronger resistance or support level. So I do expect seeing some resistance here because it's 0.618 and also because their price history that goes all the way to like 30 right here on this volume shelf. It just makes sense for it to kind of balance here before going up, but depends what earnings shows. Fundamentals also matter. In addition to that, you just have a big giant green candle over here. So I don't know, maybe price will push up here. It doesn't necessarily have to consolidate. We'll see what the volume shows over the next few months. I do think that once we're able to break about 0.618, it could get up to the 40s fairly quickly. And I do think that over the next 3 to 5 years, some of the higher Fibonacci extension level, like the 1.618 or the 2.618 levels, I do think that these levels are possible in 3 to 5 years. just because this is a very powerful bull trend, and I think that most likely you're going to end up having a lot of continuation. So there's not really any trend exhaustion if you look at the monthly RSI. I mean, I'm not really seeing any exhaustion. There's not really any like true bearish divergence or anything like that. If anything, I think you have like a little bit of relative, bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence down here has been working out. I don't really see any like big bad bearish divergence, maybe a little bit, but not really. So to me, I don't really see any like concern for real trend exhaustion so far on the monthly chart. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud, it's just had a very bullish Tenkan Kijun cross where red crosses about the blue. Red is the conversion. It's just a lot faster. Blue is delayed, right? Blue is the baseline. So when conversion of the faster line crosses above the slower line, you have a bullish cross over here. This generally precipitates a pretty powerful move over the next months and months and months ahead. When Amazon had this same look from when it went out from the dot-com bubble, it went on up for like months and months for like a couple of years. So that's why I'm thinking like it's not impossible for it to hit some of these higher targets over the next few years. As long as you have the element of time that's there. The cloud is just starting to form. The bottom of the cloud is right here. You can see the little green squiggly right here. That seems like that's the bottom of the cloud that's going to form. I think price is already above the cloud. It's getting pretty bullish here. Now, in addition to looking at the Ichimoku cloud analysis, we can look at the Bollinger Band. Right, I'm going to turn off the Ichimoku cloud over here. Bollinger Band so far has been telling you, yeah, price wants to break about the 0.5, but it's getting a little bit of resistance here. The Bollinger Band, you see, like the upper Bollinger Band has been serving a little bit as resistance over here. And as you can see, the Bollinger Band is expanding, so that's going to allow price to go up much higher as it expands, because it's going to keep serving a little bit as a resistance, trying to track price back down inside the Bollinger Band. But as it expands, price can go up a lot higher. The other thing is also the 20-month moving average as shown here. That's also been going pretty much exponentially going up. The price doesn't have to backtest the 20-month moving average on a bull market. It can keep going on for like 1 or 2 or 3 years without touching the 20-month moving average as it keeps going up. But it's very nice to see that this just got started. Like there's no signs of exhaustion, like it's going to like start to roll over or anything like that. It's accelerating upwards. So far, there are a lot of very, very favorable findings that you're seeing here to tell me that this could just be closer to the beginning rather than closer to the end. I guess I should say it that way. That's the monthly chart. If you look at the weekly chart, it's not going to show you too many different things. If you look at a weekly chart, some people would look at this and say, oh, that's a diamond top. You may see a diamond usually going to have a reversal down. Not necessarily. Not all diamonds are tops. You also can have diamond continuation pattern. Matter of fact, I stopped calling diamonds. I see it all the time. I stopped calling it because to me, it also almost means nothing in terms of whether or not it's continuation versus reversal. It really depends on the primary trend, and the primary trend is up. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Probably going to form a higher low at some point. I don't know where it's going to be. But the key is that, if anything, this more or less looks kind of like a little bit of a bull flag over here. It's just kind of consolidating sideways as volume goes down. But overall, the trend's probably going to end up pushing upwards. Again, I think it's probably going to bounce here between potentially 30 even, between 30 to like 25, 24. And it could keep bouncing around here for a little bit of time before very, very bullish continuation. It's my best guess. Now, if you look at the Ichimoku cloud on a weekly, that's not going to tell you too much. Price has gone up. It's a little bit far from the weekly Tenkan and the Kijun. A lot of times on a bull market, it might end up backtesting the Tenkan before bullish continuation. So I can totally see that price potentially backtest like 21.7, 22 before bullish continuation. That would still be very, very, very much a very bullish thing. As you can see over here, like it kind of backtested the Kijun down here, and it kind of did like a little thing where it kind of got a little bit of a false breakdown underneath before bullish continuation. Now that we're kind of getting above this, I don't think we absolutely have to consolidate like we did over here. It's possible, But I can also see it potentially just bouncing off maybe like 22 before going up. But I can also, depending on what the fundamental says too, I can also see it potentially just going up from here. There's a lot of buy pressure for this stock right now, and there's not a whole lot of sell pressure. The sell pressure is probably all coming from here, from 2021, but people just wanted to get out. I think they got out here already. So I'm not sure we necessarily need to consolidate that much further. All of this volume shelf right here are really from here. There's really not a whole lot of volume shelf that was from here. So I do think that a lot of people have already traded hands on the stock here. It doesn't necessarily have to end up trading hands over here further, although there's always a possibility. Now, if you look at the trend based on moving averages, 20, 50, 100, full bull trend, right? Price is a little bit above 20. 20 also is a part of the bull market support band. A lot of times price end up testing it before continuation. Just like it would test the Tenkan, the red line I just showed you on the Ichimoku cloud analysis. You could potentially wait for the bull market support band to point up, maybe up to a 22 range, back test it down, find support, and then go up further, right? No guarantee. It could also be a part of the bull market where it just doesn't touch the bull market support band for quite some time. I mean, like the bear market, it can, once things get very parabolic, you can really go for like months and months without touching the bull market support band. And it just keeps going down. Who's to say it won't keep happening here, right? But with that said, you also have to understand your risk levels. You have a lot of support levels down below, but right now you're stuck at a very, very, very powerful volume shelf. So I think that price probably at most is going to find a lot of support around like 23.3. It's going to find a lot of support down below 22.5, maybe even like 21.7. But I have a hard time seeing price kind of getting way below that. Kind of like how when price got into this volume shelf over here, it's just been bouncing between the top of this volume shelf and the bottom of this volume shelf here, and it just had a hard time kind of breaking below. I can see it kind of doing the same thing on the volume shelf up here, with the majority of price action also created back in 2021. It could spend some time over here, but I just have a hard time seeing it dropping down to the lower volume shelf to 20 before continuation. It can always happen. You never know, but if you have to base on probability based on what I'm seeing, I just have a hard time seeing it at this point. If that happens, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy more at 20, because if that happens, that would be a very, very nice higher low, and it could be finding some very, very solid support here before continuation. I'm not buying over here anymore. I'm just holding. If it goes down to like 20, 21, 22, or even lower, I'm buying more. So because of that, I'm just not sure price is going to get back down that much lower, because I want to go down lower. But I'm not going to get what I want. That's just the way it is. Very nice bull trend here on the weekly. I don't have much else to say about this stock right here. I can pull up the L3 banker, but it's not going to show you too much. All I can show you right now is, yes, there's still continuing inflow. It's not parabolic or anything like that. It's consolidating. There's a little bit of reaccumulation, I think, but this, the inflow is not going to tell you too much. All I can say is that it's not trending badly. There's not really any major concerns based on what the whales are doing, and we'll see what happens. At this point, I can see it going lower, although I don't believe it's necessarily going to have to do that. But at this point, I think it's a pretty good place to hold. If you bought down here, or even if you bought down here, I think you're going to be very happy when you're here. And I'm still greedy. I want to buy more. It goes down. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Anyway, it's been close to 15 minutes. Thank you for listening. Bye.